Hi, I'm Andre, and welcome to the Rezztek Podcast. We have an amazing guest today, Stanley Cup winner, Norris Trophy winner, Hall of Famer, and the owner of the hardest shot ever recorded in the NHL. Welcome to the show, Zdeno Chara.
Thank you so much for having me, Andre.
Thank you. We would like to talk today first a little bit about your illustrious career and your achievements. Then we have a blog about hockey equipment and its specifics. And we would like to conclude with any advice that you have for young players and also touch upon life beyond hockey. What a professional hockey player does throughout the career to take his mind off hockey, but also after a career.
Okay, let's do it.
Sounds good?
Yeah, good.
All right. In 2011, you captained the Bruins and won a Stanley Cup with them. This was after, I think, more than 4 decades of Bruins that they didn't have the cup. Walk us through how it felt to lift the cup as only the second European captain in history.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like you said, it was such a long time between the last time Boston Bruins won a cup in 1972 and our turn in 2011. So it was absolutely amazing. It was just an incredible feeling, and not just on personal level, but from the team standpoint. It was just some incredible memories and tough obstacle, adversity, rounds, opponents that we had to get through, and we did. And it just I think the harder it gets, the better it tastes at the end. So lifting the cup, it's the best, it's the biggest and the best achievement you can accomplish as a hockey player. Everybody wants to win a Stanley Cup. So for us, it was just an incredible kind of like a journey ending. I think we kept the team 2 more years, and then that was it. We had to break up the 2011 Stanley Cup team due to other reasons, salary cap, all that stuff. But yeah, amazing.
Game 7, I watched it. And I think, obviously, went to Game 7. So it was a very even series with Vancouver. And after second period, you're up 3-0, right? So basically, the third period of a Game 7 leading 3-0 was almost to say it was yours to lose. What did you think, or do you remember what were the feelings and what was the locker room like before third period? Did you have to say anything to your teammates, or what was the general mood when you're up and you're so close you can almost taste it, but it's still Game 7, so even one goal can basically swing the momentum and they can get back into the game?
Well, I think most of the talks were done before the game. During the game, I think everybody knew the task, the focus, and what we have to do as a team. And honestly, we played such a great game, tactical game, physical game. Our focus was very sharp. And having the lead and controlling the lead just kept us, really believing that all we have to do is just keep playing the way we are. And the more time, ticks off the clock, the more pressure Vancouver is going to feel to score. The more pressure they feel to score, they're going to take the more risk, and more risk they will take, give us more chances to score again. And that kind of kept throughout the whole game. We scored the first. That was actually our the biggest emphasis before the game, talking about like we have to try to score the first to take the pressure, to put the pressure more on them as a home team, and that's what we did. Then we got another one, and I think that we just kept the mood, or the how should I say it? Everything kept like even keel. Like there was no too much excitement. There is no like, what if they score? It was just a steady, calm but ready attitude, and it was just like everybody knew like, okay, every shift is a new shift, and shift by shift.
So basically getting the lead and then just taking away time from them, letting the game come to you, and keeping it tight on defense.
Yeah, we were just really focusing on playing really good, strong defense and take whatever chances we had. We just took those, and we didn't take any risks.
All right. Going back to more of a, let's say, a personal achievement, you played 1,680 games as an NHL player, which is the most ever played by a defenseman. So talk us through that, about how you were able to stick around the game for so long, and how you were able to also kind of like mentally last for such a long time in the NHL. And was it something you were eyeing as becoming the defenseman with the most games played toward the end of your career, or was it not really an important milestone to get there for you?
Well, when you play the game, you don't start playing the game because you want to reach some records. Those are the numbers that you can't really look at and say, oh, I would love to play and break this record. It's just so far away. Not multiple reasons. I always kept myself in a really good shape. That was something that I did since a very young age. I always tried to do a lot of extra training and really focus on my conditioning, my strength, and maintaining that throughout my whole career was the most important thing. Second, I was able to adapt. During those 25 plus years, the rules changed a number of times, the systems changed, the coaching approach changed, the player sizes and all that stuff changed, equipment changed. So you have to be able to make changes and adapt to them. Third, you are not gonna last if you don't love the game.
Okay.
You gotta love the game. You gotta be passionate about it. You gotta live it, eat it, drink it to be excited to go to the rink. You have players who play a long time, but after 10, 15 years, if they feel like, okay, I'm tired, like I don't want to play it anymore, like I had enough.
It's a tough sport to play for such a long time.
Yeah, but if you have a love and passion, then all of a sudden, like, you just come to the rink with joy, excitement, even when you have those tough days, because you still find something positive about it. And lastly, if that was something I was eyeing towards the end, yes, I had that as a goal, because why wouldn't I? It's just you were so close that, again, it's not something you can plan and be like, okay, I only wish I can play and break the record. But you're thinking like, look, if I stay healthy, not that you're not gonna play hard, but if everything goes right, there's a chance. And that's how I approach it. But I played hard. I played, same way throughout my whole career. I was physical. I was always willing to sacrifice myself, my body for the team, and in the end, it worked. You gotta be also a little lucky that you don't get hurt. So I didn't have that many really big major injuries.
Or even if you do get hurt and you still continue playing, right? Because it goes to
that's
2019, for example.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup final, right? So broken jaw, right? Also injured elbow or shoulder or both, right? On one arm, and you still played the next couple of games. So is it also, first of all, obviously conditioning, but like you said, you played hard, you played very physical, you blocked shots. I think that was from a shot, that broken jaw. So is it, when you look back at it, were there times where you right now say to yourself, well, I maybe should have not played in the next game because it was also dangerous for my health, maybe also if something would happen again? How do you look back at it, for example, at the 2019 Stanley Cup final when you played through with a broken jaw? Good decision, bad decision?
I don't have regrets. No, I mean, you can look back and say, well, could have, should have, would have. No, I have no regrets. I did what I felt at the time was the right thing to do, and I felt like I want to be with the team and wanted to play and wanted to help. Was I 100%? No. Was I close to be 90%? No. But
where were you? What was the percentage? What would you say?
No, I don't know. But it's like you want to be there because you just feel like even if I play 10 minutes, I want to give everything I have in those 10 minutes. Okay. But Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's tough to say if the choices, the decisions we make are the right or wrong, because we lost the finals, but did we lose it in that game? No, there were 3 more games we played. So I don't think that was the reason we lost, and that was not a reason that affected anything. It probably affected more my health than the results.
And I had a more tough summer recovering from that
Yeah,
Stanley Cup
because
final,
I needed,
right?
of course, I needed more surgeries. I need other things that I had no idea I played through at that time. I was playing, and then after the season, I took more medical exams and find out I played with a broken elbow. I had separate shoulder, I torn groin, and then I had the broken jaw. So I mean, it just towards the end, you just kind of feel like, okay, I was really broken, and my body was just shutting down. So
okay. Yeah, that sounds tough. Everything what you just mentioned. Going back to this year, June 2025, you were elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame in the NHL on your first ballot. So how did it feel when you received the call, or when you received the memo that you were going to be inducted? And how do you reflect basically on the whole journey of being drafted in 96, I think, third round, all the way to a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I don't know. It's hard to sum up the whole career, like now, like from the day I was drafted, like till the call I got from the committee, the Hall of Fame committee. You don't dream about being in Hall of Fame. You don't think like when you start playing, like, oh, that's something you're going for. You're playing for winning games. You're trying to win championships. So you do whatever you can during your career to be effective, to be successful, to be playing for a long time. And, once everything is done, then it's up to others to decide if you are, eligible, or if you are, worth to have consideration. So again, that's something you don't win. Hall of Fame you have to earn. And all you can do is just play the game right way, do the right things on and off the ice, be, really professional, and then you'll see at the end if that was enough or wasn't. And in my case, it was. And of course, I was very proud and honored and humbled when I got the call. And so it's that's something that is a result of a road that there's been many people involved and helping you. So when I look at it, when I get the call, it's not just me kind of thinking like, oh, I'm the Hall of Famer. It's my family, it's my parents, it's my teammates, coaches. There's so many people who are part of it, because, you are getting the award or recognition, but there's so many people who are being with you in different parts of the career that help you and shape you and made you who you are. I'm
guessing it's going to be an emotional ceremony for you as well, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. It's always special, but it's special because you have a podium, you have time to reflect and have that gratitude towards all those people, and you have time to thank all the people.
Okay.
So that's great about it, that you can actually give them the credit, give them the thank you, and what they deserve. Because during a career, nobody talks about them. Nobody really looking at your wife, your kids, your parents.
So it's time to give credit.
Teammates. Everybody sees you, but when you're there, it's a part of the journey that it's a team sport. So all these people are doing so much for you, so you can perform to the certain level. But if you don't have them, then you cannot you cannot perform to that level. So it works together. So
okay. So let's go to something that's very specific to hockey equipment. Hockey is one of the sports where players are wearing multiple pieces of equipment, maybe more than any other athlete. And hockey players are known to be very picky about their equipment. So let's focus first on the most important part of the equipment, which is the stick. And you played with many different sticks and brands of sticks, and they were made longer for you because you were very tall and you had to choose your flex or your pattern. So talk us through trying the different brands and how it evolved throughout your career and what was important for you when you were choosing the right stick for your game.
Yeah, it's a good question. The stick is the most important, I would say, especially when you look at it, that's the first thing you grab, even when you're playing street hockey. A lot of people think it's skates, but you always start playing hockey before you step on the ice. You start playing hockey
in the driveway, wherever,
or streets. But of course, like the involvement of sticks has been crazy. I'm remembering playing with like these heavy wood sticks. I think they were called Atla. I forgot. Leon. There were some Leons.
Yes.
There was a stick started on A. I forgot the name of it. And then Christian sticks, and there was like Titan sticks and Coho, Sherwood.
Yeah.
And we didn't know any better, so we were happy that we had something. But when we saw a stick that came from foreign country or some team came here and they had like some different brands, it was always like, wow, what is that? We were always trying to like get kind of like closer to it. And then I remember, so I started playing, I played the hockey till I was 18 with the wood sticks. And then I remember when those composite shafts came out. And then you still had to put the wood blades.
The wooden blade. Was it an Easton that you used for the first time?
Easton,
the shaft.
Easton. And if you remember, Wayne Gretzky was the first one who came out with it, and he had the silver Easton. It was like, wow. Wayne Gretzky, rightfully, he was the best player in the world at that time. And he was in LA, I believe, and he came out with that silver Easton. It was beautiful. But it was a huge difference because all of a sudden you felt there was so much less weight in your hands and so much more power generated by the shafts. And then, it was shafts and the blade, and then, kind of like they tried to make one piece, but it was still two piece. And then it became one piece. So, I mean, now we see sticks being made like I don't know how many different types and kinds and structures and stiffness, and it's just the kick. And I mean, you can customize anything, the lie, the curve, obviously, and
the flex,
everything.
Kick points.
It's just crazy. So
you broke the record with Warrior Alpha. Were you selecting a stick specifically to break the record or to make your shot as hard as possible, or was it more something that just felt good and you also used it for the All-Star competitions?
No, I used the same stick I played with.
Okay.
I didn't have anything made up just for the hardest shot. I made sure the stick was good, and when I flexed it, and I was like, okay, this feels good. I didn't want to go in the hardest shot with a stick that I already played with.
Okay.
Had some chip
so
or
brand
something.
new, or just broken in?
It was kind of brand new. I had a few shots with it, and I was like, okay, this feels good. Like you can tell like some differences between sticks, and even between brand new sticks when you unpack them. And I just kind of picked a few sticks that I felt like had better kind of balance and kick point.
Okay.
And that was it. Just step it up, and I picked one and went for it. So.
Okay, let's now focus on the blade of the hockey stick a little bit. So I heard, or you were known that when you were taping your stick back in the day, that you were using a razor or scissors to remove the bottom portion of the tape. What was the reason for that, and how did it help you?
Simple. I try to avoid the drag on the ice.
Okay, friction?
Friction. It was always kind of like, back on my mind, if I can eliminate any kind of resistance, because the regular tape creates resistance, right? You sliding, you stick handling it, and eventually it just wears off and starts peeling off. And so I started cutting it. And, you need to have a good tape for it, but not many tapes are really sticky and stay there. But if you did, you had better chance, because then the tape didn't get these little lines, these rips of the tape that started kind of like making these spreads. And, it didn't look good. It didn't feel good. So I just took a sharp knife, the industrial knife, and I just cut the bottom, like 1 millimeter from the bottom of the blade, and just went like that. And it felt really good, like slippery, kind of like faster movement on the ice for stick handling, but also shooting. Yeah.
Okay.
In general, yeah.
In general.
Everything. Yeah.
Okay. Then I think it was in 2018, you switched away from tape and you started using Rezztek, this material that is lighter and thinner than tape, replaces tape, and gives you a little bit more grip. And you stuck with Rezztek basically all the way towards the end of your NHL career. The question there is you're obviously looking for something like that in cutting off the tape and finding something different for the blade. How did you find the product when you used it for the first time? And what was the difference that make you say, okay, this might be something that I want to try out and maybe also use in the NHL?
Well, it was like this. I really wasn't looking for anything new because I didn't know anything new existed. But a friend of mine came and he's like, hey, look, this is a new innovation of the tapes. Why don't you try it? Like, it's just some prototype type of tape and maybe you're going to like it. So I kind of like, it was a summer. I was like, why not? It's a good time to try, new things or different things. And so I applied on the blade. I went on the ice. And my whole thing was like, okay, I'm going to have like a few minutes with it. I'm going to kind of please my friend that I did try it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to switch back to my original cutting tape. But I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the way it felt. I felt I had a lot more control with the puck. I had a lot more accuracy shooting. I felt like I had a lot more a feel that the puck is not sliding.
Okay.
And on top of that, I didn't feel like I have to be brushing the snow and ice off the tape. So there was multiple things I started liking. And then, I really noticed when I was shooting that I started putting spin. A lot more spin on the puck. So that was very interesting. I had very, positive first try experience with this tape. So, after the practice, I took more samples and I started playing with it and the whole rest of the summer. And then I brought it to the NHL and I started playing in the games with it, and felt great. So I felt really a difference.
Did the goalies notice anything? Were they aware that you switched something? They have to be used to your shooting at practice?
I asked goalies if they felt anything different. They said, yeah, it's a lot more spin. So when I shot it, they felt that the puck was generated a lot more spin, which in many cases they said it's harder to control because then it gets wrapped up through the jersey or
rebound control.
It's not, or when they caught it in a glove, the puck was still, generating the momentum of the spin, and it was not like
so
flat.
Harder to stay there.
Yeah, it was harder for them to control.
So you then also became involved in the product testing and the development of the product. These were early prototypes. You came back with a lot of important feedback. Tell me a couple of things that you felt that were important for the product to be, let's call it NHL eligible. Like what had to be done for you to think this is a product that can actually rival tape or become something that replaces tape?
Well, number one is the quality of the durability.
Okay.
So that was the most important thing for me was the early on products, when we apply them, they were kind of like, they were getting some chips and the strings were coming off. We were fixing that. Then the seeds or the little, what do you call them?
Grains?
Grains were a little too thick. So it was something that it was very noticeable that when you used it, you could see exactly where those grains were peeling off and where they were not. So there was like difference in what you were starting with and what you were kind of like continue to play with. So we were trying to touch up on all these details that the product would stay the same. It would not change the shape. It would not change the quality. It would not peel off. It would not change anything. It would be whatever you start with, it will be same till the stick breaks.
Unless you have to replace it when the stick breaks and everything,
but also,
right?
but we also consider like, look, there's it's a physical game, not just physical, but physical on the equipment.
Oh yeah.
So the blade a lot of time touch the other opponent's skate or boards,
puck pedals, nets.
So naturally, it happened that it got ripped off because there's so much going on. Somebody was taking face-offs, for example, right? He's taking 20, 30 face-offs a game, so I'm sure it's going to be a lot more wear and tear as somebody who is defenseman and just, doesn't have to take the face-off. So
we have a video here where when you went from the Bruins to the Capitals, and it's from one of the practices where you were mic'd up, and there is Evgeny Kuznetsov trying to play with your stick and also looking at Rezztek, and you explain it to him. So the question here I have is, how do other players react when you bring something that's innovative or just different than some other people's are using? Are they asking for it? Were you proactive of saying, I found something, guys, try it out? Or is it more keeping to yourself and basically like taking care of you and your equipment and not necessarily advocating for any new things in the locker room?
I think just naturally, you're just using it, and then if somebody asks, you give them the feedback, you tell them about the product, and you are not acting as a sales rep, but more explaining why did you change it, why you start using it. So that's what I did. I was just basically giving them my feedback, my experience, and it's up to them. If they ask for samples, we provided samples. If they liked it, great. If they didn't, perfect. Like I wasn't trying to be pushing on somebody to start, switching or start using the product. I think the best way, if they like it, if they have a good feel for it, they're gonna ask for more. The last thing you want to do is just be kind of like forcing, because then it's not everybody's gonna like it. You could have the best product in the world, and not everybody's gonna be like, okay, I want it. So. You see it today. Like some people love iPhones, some people go for Androids. Like it's just
good analogy.
it is what it is. Like everybody has different tastes. So
I think you did a good job, because Kuznetsov ended up using Rezztek for a couple of games when he was switching sticks. So he even scored some goals with it. So probably worked for him, at least for the short amount of time he was still in the NHL. Right?
We had a lot of players who tried it, and a lot of players who stick with it and using it. So
have you ever, since you started using Rezztek, have you ever shot harder than your all-star record? I know for a fact you've been followed by a Boston crew, I think, that also measured your shot in practice. And you mentioned, or I heard somewhere, that you were able to shoot even harder than the 108.8 in practice.
Yeah, I was. They brought a radar, but again, who knows what the radar was?
How it was calibrated? Do you remember the score?
It was 111.
111.
But that kind of gave me a little like questions if that was, again, the right calibration, if that was the right radar.
Not an all-star game, so obviously not an official record.
Just, you can say like, oh, I shot it harder. I probably did. I believe that the all-star game is the all-star game, and it's great to have that platform. And it's amazing. You can entertain people with such a great excitement and the event like hardest shot, because I feel like that's the most exciting part
from all the all-star competitions.
But does all of us shoot the best at the all-star game? Probably not.
Yeah.
Like it's you standing there for an hour and a half waiting for your event. And then you go on the blue line and you so stiff and cold.
No stretching.
No stretching. You just kind of like go there and shoot like try to shoot as hard as you can. So I'm sure all of us shot a lot harder, or for sure harder than we did at the All-Star games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty confident when I say I could. I'm sure I've shot like 110 miles an hour at some point. I'm pretty confident I did.
Okay. Looking back over the career, you mentioned sticks, how they evolved. We also spoke about switching from tape to Rezztek. Was there any other piece of equipment throughout your career that came and stayed with you and gave you a performance benefit? Anything that you can remember?
Well, I think the most I try to focus on or switch was skates.
Okay.
I mean, it's just because they involve so much. Like it was... The sticks are probably the most, but also skates. I think like all the other stuff, like I kept probably over 20 years, like my shin pads, my shoulder pads. Like I never switched them. Like once I broke them in and they felt comfortable, elbow pads.
Why change them, right?
Even the gloves, you keep the gloves, you just change the palm.
Mm-hmm.
You just try to keep the same gloves, and if you could, you just keep using the same. But the skates probably were the second part of the equipment that you changed so much, because the involvement is just so fast and so much better than
they became also custom fitted throughout your career, right?
Lighter, different steels, different holders, different the cut. It was just like, so much into it that you had to try. You couldn't just be like, okay, I'm going to be skating these whatever
until the rest of my days.
Yeah,
right?
You can't.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to move on a little bit to life beyond hockey, not only after your career, but also throughout your career. So it's right now you're known to be an endurance athlete, right? You do marathons, you do triathlons, etc. It's completely different the way you have to train for sports like this. So why endurance sports, and how different is training for that when you compare it to being an NHL player?
I always loved it. Like I mentioned earlier, I was always, key on conditioning. So even I played hockey, and it's not very long conditioning as far as conditioning. Like you don't need
endurance
marathon conditioning, hey?
Yeah.
In hockey, but what you need is like the explosive repeatability during the game. But I even having said that, I always train like I was endurance athlete. I always took long runs, long bike rides because I enjoyed it. So after the hockey career, I just kind of kept it and just keep extending the distances and sign up for a few shorter triathlons, then longer, then shorter runs, longer runs. Then I get convinced to run a marathon. And once I ran a marathon, your confidence is like, okay, I can do marathons, and then you kind of looking like, okay, where can I push this? And then you do half Ironman. Then from half Ironman, they do full Ironman. So it's fun. Like I enjoy it. It's hard, but I'm learning a lot, and it's a lot of fun.
So outside of endurance sports, it was announced in early 2025 that you will also be a mentor within the Bruins organization. So that's also something that is staying closer to hockey, but what would be your role there, and what would you like to basically give the next generation of athletes or the organization themselves in terms of advice?
Yeah. Well, right now I had the flexibility to move around anywhere I wanted.
Okay.
I could be in locker room with players. I could go in a office and spend time with coaches. I could sit upstairs with the management. So I had the flexibility to see the hockey as it is from different levels. Obviously, I knew the hockey from a player standpoint, but now, like looking from the other side, it also is different. You have to understand that, the amount of information, data, it's coming down, and it's really affecting how the game is played, how the game is coached, how the game is managed. So all these details, they make a difference. So which gave me a lot of good insights on how to see the game and how to understand it, how to listen, but mainly I want to be helpful. I want to be helping players. So for this season, I think we want to be more specific. And I think we're going to be meeting with the management and kind of probably pick more specific roles areas where I'm going to be, working. And so we have to kind of finalize that.
Do you see yourself also moving to a more of kind of like an executive role, like a GM or something like that? Is that in the cards, or were you?
Probably not now.
Not now.
I have 3 kids, and my boys are 10. My daughter is gonna be 17. So my boys play hockey, and I want to be spending time with them.
Okay.
I want to be investing time with my boys first. Of course, I'm gonna be helping as much as I can, but. I just want to be there for my boys now.
Okay. You just announced, I think a couple of days ago, your goodbye game, which is going to be taking part in Slovakia.
The final shift game.
The final shift game. Sorry, that's the official name, right?
That's the official name.
Okay, the final shift game happening in Trenčín in Slovakia in, I think, August 26, right? So first of all, obviously, it's probably going to be a great event, a great way to say goodbye. Usually, players of your caliber, let's say, invite superstar players or friends or people you played with, etc. Are there who would be basically a dream team that you would love to have to go on the ice with the final shift with you?
Well, there's 2 ways. Well, first of all. Goodbye game. I want to maybe correct it. It's not really. Yes, I am retired, but I want to make it like really great and special event for all of us. Not just the players who are going to be part of it, but also the fans.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's going to be televised. Hopefully, people are going to be able to watch it at home and have a great experience. Because that's what they deserve. That's what we kind of want to provide and share. As far as who, I think it's I have to be careful. We have to be careful. If I'm gonna make it with splashy names, or it's gonna be more names that meant something for me and play with, and want to have again the time together. Of course, you need a team and names to make it, interesting.
Yeah, and appealing to fans. Yeah,
but I don't think I want to be hunting for just names. But I want to have some connections. I want to have some relationships. I want to have some memories. I want to have some experiences that are special to me.
So the personal bond more of a priority than just a big name that should sell tickets.
I think
both.
I think when you look at 2011 team, we were champions, and at the same time we had a bond. So it's easy to pick players from all of them.
The whole team. Yeah.
It's easy, right? But you also had experiences to play with or against some very special players that, of course, they're going to get a call and be asked, and we'll see.
Okay. Okay, so let's move on to advice to young hockey players. So what would you say or give, what kind of advice would you give to young kids starting hockey or basically climbing the ladder to become professional athletes?
That's a great question. I think that, especially in these days, I see kids playing. Some of the kids playing hockey for wrong reasons.
Okay.
Sometimes you ask why you play. I want to be famous. I want to be rich.
Many followers on Instagram.
I want to have this. I think it's good to be having sort of idols, seeing dreams. But I think the main and most important thing that you have to play the game with a heart and passion. And you want to go there because you really enjoy the game. You're falling in love with the game. With everything that's happening, the way the arena smells, the way the puck sounds when they hit the board, making new friends, helping somebody who is in a bad position or bad spot. It's just there's different values and bigger priorities than just seeing the end results. Those are end results, maybe a little bit of fame, being rich. These are things that are not going to happen for you, your first, second, 10, you need to play. Those are the final stages. So I think a lot of times happens that the kids, maybe the parents are also a little guilty of that. They skipping all these levels of what are kind of important.
Looking at the end goal instead of enjoying the journey.
A lot of times it's a chasing the logo. You have to play for this team because this team is good. You're trying to make the kids to play for the team.
Age category?
Well, you have a 7-year-old, you want to really push him to play with 8-year-olds.
Okay.
And it's not worth it. Like, why are you rushing? It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're trying to promote take it easy. Like, everything has time. Spend the time to develop the kid in the right way. Do as much talking about the values, how to be humble, how to be good teammate, how to work hard, how to be disciplined. All these things, I think those are more important than teaching, preaching, other things.
So you have 2 boys, both playing hockey, right? So what kind of hockey parent are you personally? Are you more the involved dad, being nervous from the side, or are you just more the laid back?
I'm both, but I communicate with them as much as I can.
Okay.
We have completely open conversations, especially on the drive to the practice, to the games, on the way home. I asked them, hey, what was the game like today? What did you learn? How did you feel? How do you think you played? I want them to think. I want them to really understand what's happening there. Not just, I had a goal, I had a great game. All these stats are, yes, they are nice to, of course, we all proud parents. If your son is doing well, he scores, he makes 3-pointers, he does, wins a tennis match. Like, we all proud of that, of course. And so am I. But at the same time, the numbers and stats are not everything. You can't be measuring the involvement and development of your kid by stats. You have to be looking at the big picture. Is he getting better? Is he improving in this area? Is he lacking this? Is why? Like, you gotta communicate with him. What did you learn? Like, what do you think you need? Like, how is anything that you think we should work on? Like, and make him think or make him answer. Like, I think that's important instead of just like, they come home and
counting goals.
Yeah, they come home from the game. He's like, the parents always like, hey, how was the game? We won. Did you score? It's
wrong
like,
question.
And
right?
if he says yes, like, oh, my son scored. He must have had a great game. He might have scored, but hey, he might be like not even like having a great game. He might not understand the rules. He might skate into the offsides. He might not really pass when he's supposed to pass. So there's a lot of things that you can see in a game besides just the stats.
Would you want your kids to be professional hockey players?
It's not what I want. It's what they want.
That was my question, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's again, as a parent, you have to be careful what are your dreams and what are your kids' dreams. And if you're pushing your kids to live your dreams, it doesn't matter what you're gonna do. It doesn't matter what if that's not their dream, it's not gonna happen. You can be buying them the best sticks, best skates, anything you can do. It's not gonna make them be professional. It has to be their dream. So I don't know if that's what they want. I'll support them, and if that's what they really want, and I tell them, like, I can help you. I can help you to get better, but you need to come to me and ask me. I need to see you being like hungry for it. I'm not gonna be like, yes, I'll give them advice. I'll give them sometimes like a little push, but
it's their decision in the end.
It's either they have it or they don't.
What's your relationship with the word rookie in hockey?
Never liked it. Never liked to be called a rookie. I never liked to use the word towards somebody else. I don't know. It sounds kind of like sharp, too strong, too sharp for someone who is your teammate. I don't know. Like I feel like there's definitely hierarchy in sports and locker rooms, but I don't think that it has to be divided by words or calling each other words. I feel like we all equal. Once you put that jersey on, I think we all on the same boat. You can't be telling somebody like you are just a rookie and keep your mouth shut and just. There are ways to make him understand that there's a lot to be learned
without using the word.
Maybe without using the word rookie.
Do you still have your first pair of skates or first stick?
Yes, first pair of skates.
Have you ever worn or used the Lucky Charm in your career?
Yes, I'm not gonna tell you what it was.
Did you ever drop the Stanley Cup?
No, I didn't. But somebody did it at my party.
Okay. Is an Ironman triathlon harder than a Stanley Cup playoff game?
One Stanley Cup playoff game?
One Stanley Cup playoff game.
It is, yes.
It's harder. The Ironman.
Ironman, yeah.
Okay. What's
one
more
game towards the Ironman?
What's more important, shot power or shot accuracy?
In these days, accuracy. In my days, power.
Okay.
And reason for that, the goalies are so much better, so much quicker. You need to be accurate. Not to take away anything from the goalies when I played in my heyday, but they were not as good as they are today. Just like there are better defensemen now involved, like skating, stick handling, just as we played. But in my day, when you had a bomb and it was faster than reaction of the goalie, you didn't have to aim. You just needed to be
just get it on the net.
You needed to be faster or quicker as his reaction. In these days, they cover the net so well and they're so fast that you need to be accurate.
Okay.
You need to hit the spot.
The most fun teammate you ever play with?
For me, Chris Kelly. Chris Kelly was very sarcastic and right to the point.
The hardest working teammate you ever played with?
Patrice Bergeron.
The best leader under pressure?
Patrice Bergeron.
Black tape or white tape?
Black, Rezztek.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, guys, thanks for listening. That was Big Zee, and he was kind enough to sign 2 Rezztek hats for us. And for anybody who goes to Rezztek.com and places an order, we're going to draw 2 lucky winners that are going to get a hat signed by Big Zee. So go try your luck, and these might be on the way to you. Thank you very much.